Queensland represents more than a quarter of Australia's landmass, yet only 2.5% of the state is farmed or cropped. The state government is moving to protect what it says is the best of the best land from permanent damage caused by mining or development. It says the new laws will balance the importance of resource investment with the need to shore up the state's food security. The mining industry fears it could kill off the biggest driver of Queensland's economy if it's not done correctly. But it's given a glimmer of hope to farmers. Francine Norton reports.
Word has spread quickly in Felton, and farmers are hopeful that it's good news.
I guess it's reassuring to know that that maybe there is now some government policy that's going to listen to what we've been saying for 2.5 years.
This land on the southern Darling Downs is renowned for its rich black soil, and it's hard to come by.
They cannot restore this soil. You can't put the water holding ability back in soil. That's just impossible.
Also, if this land is left as it is, though, it'll be farming forever and ever. If the mines take it over, in 20 years it'll be just a wasteland. Yeah.
John Bryce's family has been farming here since before the First World War. But for the past 2.5 years, they've lived under the threat of an open-cut coal mine, petrochemical plant and a power station.
Well, you just don't know where you stand. You don't know what's ahead at all at the moment.
They're now hoping their property will be protected under new laws to stop mining or development from causing irreversible damage to valuable cropping land. The proposal covers 4% of the state. It includes Amber Energy's proposed mine at Felton and the government-owned Tarong Energy haystack project near Chinchilla.
What those maps represent is a trigger. So if a mining company comes along and wants to explore or develop a mine in those areas that have been mapped, it triggers a number of assessments.
Already the haystack project is under a cloud.
I don't want to be definitive because I would want to see the necessary steps undertaken, but there is an early indication that would be the type of project that would not meet approval because it could not be done in a way that wouldn't permanently alienate that land.
Amber Energy admits the cropping land policy has brought uncertainty to its plan to develop Australia's first commercial-scale coal-to-liquids project at Felton, but for the time being, it's business as usual.
Amber Energy is trying to gain significant project status for its Felton project. Does this mean it could be given exception to go ahead?
No. It would need to make it through this framework. That's part of the assessment process.
Environmentalists and farmers have applauded the policy as a good first step, but they're still worried about the exemption of coal seam gas.
It doesn't allow for the impacts that we'll have on groundwater. So even when you've got good cropping land, if you've got coal seam gas mining, which then causes downgrades of the underground water table, then you've no longer got the capacity to irrigate.
And also that impact of multiple projects across one region there. You could have one farmer who's got multiple companies operating different projects on their property, as well as just a whole region that has projects all over the place, and there's a cumulative impact to all those projects.
The 4% set aside is 40 times the area that's currently being mined or ever been mined in Queensland. It's left some company boards rethinking their plans.
No government likes to see cranky farmers. They hold a lot of sway with community sentiment. But I think government could have got on the front foot much earlier, dealing with the hotspots, rather than come up with this huge bureaucratic process that's just going to slow down resource projects unnecessarily.
Queensland's resource sector represents 1 in 8 jobs and 20% of the economy. It's warning the government not to kill off the golden goose.
Well, I think if it's not done correctly, and that is if it's rushed, and if projects that are midstream of developing a major mining project, for example, if they're not well handled, it'll be another hit to Queensland's reputation as an attractive place to invest. I guess what we find as a Resources Council is day by day, week by week, we're dealing with a new set of constraints.
It should come as a surprise to no one that government was giving serious considering to trying to get the balance right. So yes, I expect to see and hear some gnashing of teeth and wringing of hands. But as I've said all along, this is about getting the balance right. It's a finite resource. We're not making any more of this land. We have some of the best farmers and best farmland in the world, and that's a resource that is worth hanging on to.
At the same time, the government is employing more staff to deal with complaints and is trying to improve its assessment and communication process.
This is the sort of thing that should have been done right from the word go and should be part and parcel of any proper regulatory system.
The farmers in Felton fear the impacts on their land will be far greater if the coal mine goes ahead. But for the first time in 2.5 years, the seeds of hope have been planted.
It will give confidence to a future generation of farmers. It will give confidence that agriculture is a respected industry in this state and that it is valuable.